And there's a serious, to me as a resident and taxpayer, the lack of proficiency in this room tonight about when the agreement, you indicated you had never, you weren't aware of it or you hadn't seen it. I just worry, like, how does this group mobilize if there's an emergency? That's my honest opinion. The lack of proficiency in this room tonight, how does this group mobilize if there's an emergency?
All right, we're going to get started. I see it's 6 o'clock. Again, thanks everyone for showing up. Welcome. Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes as presented? Is there any changes or corrections to the minutes? Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Make a motion, Mike Conley.
Second.
Second, Josh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I think the only thing that's really on the agenda is the truck, unless Jeb has something additional.
A couple of things.
Okay.
I mentioned it won't be very long.
All right, let's get into the truck ordeal here. Does anyone know where this new MOU come from Stoltzman and Hughes, that Josh and I doesn't seem to know anything about? Did anybody ask them guys to draft this MOU?
All of the municipalities that are represented by them asked them to do it.
We didn't. Our township didn't. We didn't even know about
Are
it.
you represented by, you're not, are you,
Yeah.
well, I know Huntington knew about it and
Okay.
we knew about it, but you weren't involved yet.
Yeah.
You weren't members yet, so, yeah.
All right. Because I spoke to Bernie and he wasn't really sure
Yeah.
how this come about either. So, that's fine. I think here's where some of the misunderstanding come from with this new MOU. Do you guys believe there was a misprint in having to carry a $10 million policy on this truck?
I do.
I do.
You do?
I did.
Okay. All right. Because, right now, the way it stands, Tyrone's ready to pull it out.
They have a letter here that I have to present in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of municipalities have decided they wasn't going to do this because it made the insurance policies just crazy to carry that type of money on a truck. It's not even close to worth that amount. So.
No, not at all.
I think we looked at it, it was over $4,000.
Yeah,
Just
it
for
was
insurance
ridiculous.
policy, so.
But again, the origin of that remains unknown. Whether that somebody just
What
fat
I
fingered or.
assume is somebody hit an extra zero.
Yeah.
But I
So.
don't know. We didn't know until we got a bill for the MOU. And our township was like, we have a bill for an MOU that we didn't know about.
Okay.
And I went, so we kicked it back and said that had nothing to do on our part. That,
All right. So you guys pretty much talked to Stoltzman and Hughes in essence to draft this.
I know we talked about it, yes.
Okay.
We gave our solicitor the okay to work on it.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you know if they talked to Bernie? Because the way Bernie's talking,
I do not.
he hasn't even.
did you see the original 3-page MOU by chance?
Yes, they did,
Okay.
and that was the problem. We decided as a township, we were not signing that one.
Yeah.
There was no way we would sign
Okay.
that one.
All right. So I guess we'll hear from you to see what Tyrone even wants
Yeah,
to do.
I mean,
this may
so-
be a new point right now, but.
Absolutely. So to go back to the very inception, just to give it background, Tyrone Township, as of current to my understanding, I could be incorrect based on unless modifications have been made since the inception of this, but with that truck, we're the only one that meets Title 35 PA subsection 7503, which clearly states, and you brought this up, Jed, back at the inception of this 5 years ago, to establish, equip, and staff an emergency operations center consolidated with warning and communication systems to support governmental operations in emergencies and provide other essential facilities and equipment for agencies and activities assigned for emergency functions, meaning you have to have an EOC. we're the only ones that have it right now out of all of them, from my understanding, that meet the requirement that PEMA put out. And that's in law, right here. That being said, that was the inception of it. If everybody, the background of it was we bought the truck because we had to have that. We had to have some level of EOC. The reason the EOC was established on our end was previous supervisors. We sat down, I remember sitting down with them, and we did what a lot of townships did, and we were like, oh, we'll just use the municipal building. And then we had a board member on the supervisor go, well, that's great. However, what happens when fire, flood, tree falls, snow, adverse conditions, whatever, takes out your EOC? Then what? Now where are you going? And we don't have, it was going to cost us more money to outfit a generating system than it was to go this route that we did. So initially we went the route, and from the email traffic, and we brought that forward, and there was hesitation then, like, oh, why would you need that? That's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then we explained why. Everybody said, you know what, that's actually smart. We had the roof collapse, it worked perfect, everything worked flawlessly. We drafted a memo, a rough memo back on July of last year that kind of it was a 3-page memo or memorandum, and what we established then was the only fixed cost was to develop a fund account, general fund account, to roughly keep it at $4,550, and should it go below $1,500, then the townships would all come together and split the expense cost across the board. The problem that we run into, and Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not a 501c3, so we don't have the ability to have an account in that manner. Is that my understanding?
I think so.
That's correct.
That's a
So,
legal question.
well, are we an established 501c3?
No.
Okay, so then we wouldn't have the ability to have a bank account, is what I'm saying. So that threw up some red flags as to, well, how do we fund this thing? Then we said we'll create that memorandum that talks about it, which we did, and my concern with it is there's been a lot of back and forth between, and I talked with Chris a little bit, and I think with you, and voiced my concerns, elsewhere. It's like herding cats. And when I say that, I mean everybody's solicitor has input, and they all get paid to do a job. And we kick these memorandums back and forth. One likes it, one doesn't. This one likes that, this part doesn't like that. And before you know it, we're only here 4 times a year. And it's challenging to get anything done. And in my eyes, the only people that are winning at that point are the people that are collecting the income from us continuously kicking it back and forth. That being said, we did get this new 8-page one. I think the big hesitation there was this $10 million policy that nobody knew about. Do I agree with Dominic that I think it was probably a misprint? Yes, I can't confirm it, but it doesn't make sense. I think we can all agree that sounds a little extravagant, but I do have a letter from the township, and their basic understanding of it is at the end of 30 days, we have to go back to supporting our township. So we have 30 days to figure it out. And that's on their behalf, is we got to figure it out within 30 days, and they're going to put it back into service for its originally designed purpose. So I have my own thoughts on that. I think, from the inception of it to the start to where we were, I think we all can agree we made great headway, but the last MOU threw a lot of, the $10 million is what really kind of, everyone went, whoa, wait a minute. But yeah, I guess Salzman was usually the first one.
All right, so basically Tyrone's saying in 30 days they need a decision from each municipality that's involved in this NAREMA to make a decision if they're still going to continue with this or back out, so Tyrone knows if they're going to put this piece of equipment in.
Well, their
or they're just- they're
anticipation is,
bad.
yeah, their anticipation, we're just gonna put it into service on our end and
Right,
support
right.
our township.
I mean, I really haven't, I don't see a big deal with the new memorandum. Like I say, it's just a clarification. I think we need to finalize as a 10 million or 1 million. I mean, that's a huge
I would
difference there.
agree.
So,
I would agree with that.
has any other townships, who in here doesn't have Stoltzman, or who does have Stoltzman in Hughes? Huntington, Tyrone, Butler, and Bendersville. Manala does too.
The challenging thing
We're the only
there,
ones that don't, basically.
what I
What's York
found,
Springs have?
That sounds, I'm not aware. I know that our solicitor said that she sent the MOU back, and approved, if you will, or okay. But I don't know if it was a 3-page one or the 8-page one.
Okay.
the challenging thing there, and after talking with our township supervisor, even within Salzman Hughes, they don't necessarily, while they're part of the same company, they didn't communicate, because our solicitor didn't even know.
Right.
So it's even though we're all have the same company, we still gotta get them to talk to each
I
other.
would have thought they would have
No,
sent it
'cause-
to Bernie just for review. I guess. All right.
If anybody'd like to see this letter from Tyrone, it's up here.
Yeah.
Just wanted Danielle to catch it for the minutes.
For a minute. So basically, I obviously everyone else sitting here except for York Springs and Franklin, who doesn't have Stolzman Hughes. Again, I didn't see a big problem with it except for the number for the insurance.
Correct.
Right.
And I'm reaching out to my mayor right now to see where we stand.
Okay, that's fine. Again, if we can get a clerical change on that amount from 10 million to 1 million to make sure that's where it belongs, then I think everybody would be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I think we would agree with that, yeah.
Butler's out no matter what.
Butler's out no matter what.
And I'm thinking Huntington's gonna be out no matter what, from the supervisors I've talked to.
I'm not gonna speak for Manawan, but I think they're out too.
Even if it goes back down to $1 million.
I can't
For
answer
coverage.
that, but
Well, how about Butler? Butler is out,
we're out.
even if it goes to $1 million? Okay.
We have a place for an EOC, we have a backup EOC, and we're soon gonna have a third backup. So,
So there's no need for you guys. All right. And that's Huntington's feelings as well?
Pretty much.
Okay.
There seems to be more problems the longer it goes with the.
I would
between
definitely
the
agree with that. It just seemed like one hurdle after another.
Yeah.
To me, it should have been something simple, and it should not have been 4 years on the table and still talking about it, so.
I concur 1000%.
You know, so. All right, we'll have to take this back and discuss it at our workshop. And next week? Yeah, next week, so.
I mean, at that point, are we looking for a revision to the current MOU to reflect
Well,
$1 million before?
What's Bendersville's fault? I mean, if we get enough people who don't even want to be participating in
We
this.
haven't seen it, so it hasn't even been to our meeting.
Okay. You didn't meet with them and discuss anything with
We
them?
have met with Bendersville, but we have not discussed it.
Okay.
I think it's a great MOU, and Dominic's part, I think it's a great MOU, just the 10 million, everybody
Right.
kind of went, wait a minute, you know,
Okay.
where did that come from? I don't even know where that came from.
Okay. Again, I think it was a misprint. But...
How
So
would
again,
we
there's.
get- How would we get a copy of it? Or
Oh, what we'll get.
bring to our meeting?
I've got a comment.
You have one with you? There you go.
I think I do.
You think you do? If not, we'll make sure you get it. So again, that's a possibility of only 3 or 4
Let's check
members.
with Kenny, he's
I know,
not here.
sorry.
He may be able to speak on behalf of him.
Ken, what's Manellan's take on the MOU and staying in or getting out of this truck deal?
No,
You're getting out altogether? Okay.
Ken, we've had discussion here that the $10 million may have been a misprint, and if it went back down to $1 million, would that put you back in or not? Is it a cost thing for you all?
yeah, $7,000.
Yeah, to insure, understood. If we put that back down to $1 million, then we're back down to, what was it?
It was like
$600 a year.
I think we paid maybe $600 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $100 a, well, 100-ish, a municipality. Would that put you back in?
Reasonable, yes.
well, no, each municipality has to cover their own policy.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's not $100.
Okay, understood.
It would be, because like ours at $1 million, I'm guessing, knowing what I know about business insurance, I'm guessing ours would be about 700, 650 to 700.
Correct. That's about where ours should have been if it was a
Without-
million. Yeah, each township will have to pay their own coverage when it comes to that. There's no splitting that cost. But it still doesn't matter for you folks, so it's up to Manala, what you guys want to do, what York Springs wants to do, what Bendersville's going to do, and us. So it could still be.
Who's getting the answer from the Saltzman letter? Can't we talk to that?
Who's
Who's gonna let us know if it was a
Who,
mistake or
do you know
not?
who wrote that?
Well,
Which-
we could, I mean,
Which attorney wrote it?
I think
was it
Todd,
Todd
who's your
wrote it?
attorney, Paul?
Todd. I
Okay.
think,
Todd
I think
King?
that's who it was.
I mean, I know
Todd
Todd,
King?
I know Todd
Yeah.
worked on it, but he worked on it with somebody else too. Who's your, Todd's not your solicitor.
No, he's over the mountain.
Bryce,
I don't know who
Zach
Todd worked
Bryce
with,
is
but
Madone.
So you're still with Stolzman and Hughes though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys have a difference. What's that, Jeff?
Who's gonna ask and get back to us? You got 30 days.
I will reach out to
Where's that
Todd.
attorney?
I will reach out to Todd tomorrow. I can contact Todd. I know Todd, so. We know Todd. That's all I know.
Yes, I know.
So,
Yes.
so we'll reach out tomorrow. I'll get an answer. I will try to shoot an email out tomorrow evening for sure. I'll send it to everyone, but that way we know if it's a mistake or not. If it's legit, everybody's out. There's no question about that probably.
So by what authority have they set the value at all?
Right.
Uh,
Where did that come
where's
from?
that-
Yeah, where did that come from?
Where's, is that just somebody's advice to a township? Because I don't know that it's,
You're speaking of the 10 million?
yeah, or let's
Or
say
even
$100.
$100.
Who set the value, or are you trying to cover the value of the vehicle or the liability of running people over with the vehicle?
yeah, it's not the vehicle, it's the liability.
Yeah, it's a liability.
So the liability is not the price of the vehicle,
Correct.
it's
Yeah.
general liability.
Right, which most of the time that's your common starting around $1 million on most of those policies, so.
So somebody is advising their township that they want you to have $10 million.
Well, again, we gotta see if that was a mistake or if that was intentional, because like I say, that's a crazy number. I don't even carry $10 million on my stuff, so. Anybody in here carry $10 million also?
New.
Even municipalities don't carry that, so.
The only part my business does.
Well,
But we does, just as of this year though, because of some of the companies we're working for, I mean, normally
Right.
we were at 3 million. So when I saw the 10 million on it, I was like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah. So,
If we don't sign on, what's the alternative? Each municipality has to have their own EOC then? You're
Yes.
talking generators and,
You have to, there's a standard under that, PA, or 35 PA-CS-7503. 2 is what determines every municipality needs it, but then there is a requirement of what's involved in that need. So, you have to have it be your recommendations that apply.
so it could end up being cheaper for us to sign on. If
That was
it's
the
a
whole
million,
goal.
it's 6 or
Yeah, so
7.
I don't want bad blood, like, I personally don't care, just to be clear, like, it's gonna service us, it's gonna service our needs, we know to our people that we meet the qualification. What it comes down to on that end is, when it initially started, it was like, oh, well, that's strange, why would they do that? The reason that we did it was, I'll use a township building, for instance. The conversation went, well, we're gonna use the fire hall, right? And that's what everybody said, we're gonna use the fire hall. Then it was like, well, what are some of the requirements? Jen came with the requirements, and one of them was you have to have some secondary source of generating power. Found out a lot of fire departments and municipalities didn't have secondary power generating systems, right? The truck costs less to buy that than it did to outfit a building with a power generating system. We looked at it as we can move it situationally. If a storm rolls through, if the building catches on fire, if a tree falls on it, if adverse weather prevents it, we have the ability to move that thing to Cumberland County, to Perry County. I can move it to Erie County if I choose, right? And then once this dust settles, come back and handle the operation. Everybody said, well, we're gonna use a fire hall. Well, what is a fire hall? Fire hall is your mass CAD site. It just typically is. It's where people go when they need help. The last thing, and anybody that's in the EMC world will tell you, is you do not want your EOC connected to a mass CAD site for a lot of reasons. Mainly, one of the main reasons is you have people making serious decisions on emotions by looking out the window and seeing a mass CAD site rather than what's best for the township. So, we all agreed, yeah, that doesn't make sense. We went the truck route based on the advice that we got at the time, and it actually makes sense. Anybody, Chris, we talked a little bit, when you need to have closed door meetings and make decisions, that's a great place to sit there and discuss without interference from the outside world, or when you come out, you're a unified front. I can move it as close to or as far away from whatever that situation is. You can't pick up, if that farm right there catches on fire and it has some level of chemicals in it that clears this block radius, you're not using this as an EOC. You're not going to. You can't. We can move it as far away as possible. That was the whole goal, was then we said to the townships, hey, it worked for us. We had it battlefield tested when the roof fell, when the propane truck went out, when the tar truck flipped over. We had the ability to battlefield test it. We made some minor changes and it worked. Is it gonna work for everybody? No, I get it. Does the $10 million scare some people? Sure, I think it was a misprint. Does it mean that it's not worth it? No. Does it meet the blocks that we may all need? Sure. I know at the end of the day, our township can stand before the people that elected those people and say, yes, we meet that qualification. Not saying others can't, just to be clear, I just know that we can right now, and it sounds like Dominic has a great thing with this, a beautiful building, it has the power generating system, and if that works for them, that's great. But again, there's no harm, no foul here. There's no obligation. It was just something Tyrone said, hey, maybe this could help everybody. And unfortunately, we can all agree that it's been kicked down the road quite a bit. Now, COVID didn't help, right? There was a period there where, like 2 or 3 years, people forgot in life. But we got to get this figured out. We're all smart in this room. We're all intelligent with the mindset of trying to get this figured out. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, it's okay.
Let me interject here too. The whole reason we have NAREMA is we're all supposed to be able to go to the other townships when an emergency person isn't there or not available.
Right.
I guess it's just a standard that can move along with it. But I think as part of this is each township has like one official rep, and that rep's not always available, and that's why we're all supposed to be able to crisscross. I think that's part of what NAREMA is, and I think it's just a standardizing process. Even without the truck, we're supposed to be able to understand each other's equipment, and the truck helps a lot with that. But I'm sick and tired of hearing about the truck.
I think we all are.
I have a quick question. What was the date of the 8-page MOU?
It was set,
Because the last copy you have was
I don't know, it was in 2025
What?
at some point. And the reason I say it is it doesn't give, there's,
Tell me the exact date, that helps. 'Cause
yeah, I can see what,
our mayor just
Dominic
said
will
it's
probably know.
2025, it's the last copy.
No, the revised one was this year
It
sometime.
was this year?
It would have been right before our last meeting. When was our last meeting?
Okay.
Yeah, it would have
because
been right
this
before.
one has 2025 on it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, this 8-page one, I'm assuming it was probably December of 2025 and got
Okay.
carried into
Okay.
the January
Okay.
meeting. I'm assuming.
Is your township, whatever it is, are they all their guys certified by PEMA and have the certificates that you're supposed to have to even be a command center and all that?
All my guys.
Your township supervisors are supposed to have a certain
A certain
certificate,
level,
and
yeah.
then do you have an emergency?
I can't say that everybody does, no.
I say that's all part of
Yeah.
what this is all kind of, we're all kind of smudged together into one operation. If you want to be your own, I'd be making sure you meet all the other requirements, not just whether you have.
I'm not
a
talking
or
about
not.
being my own.
Yeah, they're still
I'm
staying
not
part of
talking
this
about
group.
being my
They're
own. I'm
just saying
talking
they
about
don't want
not
to be part of the
participating in the
truck.
truck.
And they don't need the truck because now they have their
They have
own
this building.
space that can provide everything that your truck would provide. They're still gonna be part of NAREMA though.
And to be clear, that was another thing to stress was this agreement of whether we go for it or not does not hinder us being a part of it. Don't waver our support for NAREMA because we get it. It's important that we have this. So we're not going anywhere by any means, whether or not there's a yay or a nay on it. You know, we're still continued diehard supporters. In fact, I think they were one of the inceptions of NAREMA was Tyler.
Hi, I'm Tom Kennedy from Biglerville, Borough. I just have a question. How does the truck relate to an incident command center if there is a real dangerous situation?
What do you mean, how does it relate? What do you
It will
mean, how does
be
it, like, for instance?
Like if you have an emergency, you call together a command center. How does that relate to the truck? Does the truck become the command center?
Yeah, that's the whole purpose
Okay.
behind it, it turns into the EOC.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have somewhere to, you know, again, back to the roof collapse, because that was the really ideal one for that was, it kind of worked out pretty well, and I talked with Warren afterwards. That was a very large scale event, and that was a very long duration event. It was several hours, and it wasn't 4 or 5. It was hot, it was miserable, it was 8 to 10 hours. you're not standing outside for 8 to 10 hours, you know, in that kind of weather to do that. The one thing that was very beneficial is, as I recall the story, Warren needed his laptop, and I think he forgot it because he rushed out there to try and support the mission, and actually had a dispatcher bring it out, and then we actually put that dispatcher in the command center to set up its own dispatch, and then they dispatched everything. They kind of made their own, in the military world, we call that a talk. They'd have their own talk, which is where they ran it out so it didn't put resources on the 911 center. Rather than the 911 dispatcher having to run fire board, police board, you know, whatever board, they set up their own channel, ran ops out of there, and they had a real-time view of everything that was
Just
going on.
isolate that incident.
They isolated that incident, so.
So sitting here right now, Dominic's, this building here is probably the only building that would be
I would
able
agree.
to, that anyone has the stuff that this building has at
Yep.
this time. And that's because it's brand new.
Absolutely.
And they were smart and planned that into their design.
And they did a great job,
so-
it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely, so. Yes.
So we did have the page MOU, we did send it in, as approved.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Any other questions on this nasty topic, as Jeff says? We want to be done with it, so. I will call Todd tomorrow, I will talk to him, and I will shoot, if he responds, I will shoot an email. I will shoot an email out no matter what, if he responds or he didn't respond, just to let you know that I did or did not get an answer back from them. So, okay. Any other questions or concerns on the truck issue from anyone? Benderville has the MOU now, so you can see it, you can talk to your board. 30 days is a short turnaround, but we'll get her done, so. So obviously, within that 30 days, we will not meet again probably, but we will definitely need emails from each one that's still interested in this to say, yeah, we are, we're moving forward. So that would be Franklin, York Springs, Manalapan, and Bakerville still interested?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Tyrone don't count because they're already in. All right, if there's nothing else on the truck, we'll move on and let Jed speak, and then we'll see if anyone else has topics to talk about.
I only have one brief comment. And it's not particularly exciting, but if we had a major emergency, we've got 8 different jurisdictions, and people are going to need to talk to each other, possibly a whole lot of people may have to be in contact. So I've gone ahead and prepared a list of everybody in the jurisdictions that would be of importance to talk to. Now, we can't talk to you if we don't have your cell phone number. So, just saying, try the township number. Township's not open most of the time. So I've got this list, and nobody, including myself, enjoys having their phone number around, right? I mean, it's a list that's important, but it's also got a lot of private information on it, namely your cell phone number, and you may not want it around. So on the one hand, I've got this thing that we would really need if we had a major emergency, and yet we don't want to circulate. I don't think we want to circulate it. So I was thinking maybe the simplest thing to do with this list would be to give one to each of the jurisdictions and ask the administrator at each of the jurisdictions to keep it to themselves. Don't let it get out. It's confidential, highly confidential. But before I even do that, I wanted to get some feedback on whether that's okay to do. But if I don't do that, and if we had a real emergency on this, I mean, multi-jurisdiction, 3 or 4 involved, you may not have the name or even know the number of the appropriate counterpart in another jurisdiction, so it might be useful to have. And that's what I've done, but I don't want to do something that people don't want to have happen.
Anyone have a problem with their phone number being on this list that Jed's talking about creating, that would stay just within each municipality, within this NAREMA team?
Makes sense to me.
Sounds like we're good on that.
Okay?
I mean,
As I
numbers,
say-
I mean, do you have everyone's numbers?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
A few people have opted out, and that's their choice. But I have enough numbers that if we really had to get 3 or 4 jurisdictions together, working together, now, we're not talking about one, we're talking about 3 or 4.
Right.
A real big emergency, then there it is, and you can communicate, otherwise you might not.
part of that list, do you have each township's roadmaster
I
on
do.
that list as well? Which I think is important. How about fire chiefs?
No, if I can add them, I think we all know who the fire chiefs are. And the fire chief, as you know, is the incident commander. So we'll know pretty
That's
quickly.
fine, yeah. I mean, anything else that should be on that list of phone numbers? I mean, I think that's important. All right, go ahead and create.
Thank you. Just want to check because it's, you know, it's private.
Sure. Anything else from you, sir? That's it? Anyone else got something to bring up? Yes, sir.
Yeah, two things, speaking of tonight. One, do we know Franklin Township, have they still said no?
We were in. So it's Franklin, yeah, we're in.
Okay, you're
So we-
Franklin.
yeah.
Okay,
As far as I know right now, it's still Franklin, Renallen,
okay.
York Springs, Biggerville, and of course, Tyrone.
We still have to find out the origin of the $10 million. If Todd tomorrow tells JR that that's a requirement somewhere somehow,
Okay.
pretty good hunch we're not gonna stay in.
Yeah, that makes.
If it's a typo, and we're already, I mean, at this point, I don't recall Bernie offering feedback on the 8-page MOU either. So we need favorable feedback from our solicitor on the revised MOU as well. So if those two things line up,
Okay.
I will make sure Bernie gets that tomorrow as well, or check to see. I've actually emailed him twice a day on something else, so I will definitely make sure he has that and has reviewed it. So since he is NAREMA's actual attorney.
Okay.
Okay, Bernie, you know he is.
Thank you. And then one more thing, I just went to the PSAB where we had National Incident Management System training done by FEMA. Excellent. I have a copy of the slides if anybody wants them, and also their website, and I can get information on to get other people trained if they want it. So
Okay. I think at one point we was gonna try to get some training down here, correct?
Yes, that would have to be done in conjunction with Warren.
Warren, right? Have you talked to Warren?
In regards to training?
Yeah, about doing something?
No, I mean, I'm sure he'd be open to it. I'm sure he
I know we've had this conversation. They started some training stuff in there that we went to, it was highly attended, and all of a sudden it's like everything else. It's fizzled, and then, you know, I'm sitting there one night and I'm the only one sitting there with Warren. It's like, oh, okay, it's a little weird.
You're trying.
You know?
Yeah. He's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think
I mean, I know this stuff
I think
is boring,
some
but I think
level
it's
of-
important that people stay up on this stuff,
It
just so they know
is.
how to
it's
deal
very,
with stuff.
it's very important. I went
You hope
back-
you never ever have to
To
use
use
it,
it.
but unfortunately that could happen tonight.
So a unique
Yeah.
thing was very interesting. Cumberland County did one up at Shippensburg College. And, right, if you've never been part of that, it's amazing to see how that works and how they group expertise and training knowledge and experience with different groups. Like they had corrections with law enforcement, with and then they had EMS response, and then they had natural gas and electric, and they all had their own little breakout sessions. And the unique thing I found about it is like we don't think of like when there's a large scale event like that. Like when theirs was, hey, it was winter, and the gas pipeline, you know, it ruptured, it shut off, whatever it was. They ran the piping system. There was an issue, and it's interesting to see what all it affects, how it affects it, how it affects the prison, how it affects law enforcement, how it affects people, and then I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a relight process. I had no idea there was a relight process. I thought it was like, okay, well the gas was off, we figure out, we repair it, and then we turn the gas back on, and everything's fine. That's not true.
Right.
There is a relight process, and if it took out an entire county, they said it could take, I think it was like 3 to 4 months to correctly relight the process. So now you're talking long-term planning. It was amazing. I was there as an EPLO. I'm like, I just turn the gas back on, it'll be fine. Thinking, because I never was exposed to that, because I didn't know how it affected residential hotels, hospitals,
Right.
you know, all of those things. There's a very interesting story that was just put out, and I encourage you to see it if you like the emergency management. It has to do with how Manhattan gets their water. Do you know how that even takes place? Does anybody ever look at it? I mean,
Aqueduct.
it's amazing.
Yeah, but it's huge.
And they're kind of, they're gonna find themselves in a very challenging situation very soon. That this waterway was built 60 years ago, 70 years ago, and it's 638 feet deep, and it travels all the way to the major metropolitan areas of New York City. There is 2 substantial leaks that they're losing 32,000 gallons a day. 32,000 gallons a day. They have already predicted that they have to repair and or replace this pipe by either cutting the section out, going around it, and re-entering it, or repairing it. Both require complete stoppage of flow of water to New York City, Manhattan, all of those things. The estimated time of repair, either way, was 5 to 8 months. 5 to 8 months of water source shut down. I was watching a story on it yesterday, and I'm like, I would absolutely hate to do that. In 2025, they had 1 bidder to repair this. In 2025, they started the repair, and they ran into a drought where they were getting this water source. So they had to open this line back up, at which time it basically killed their contract, and there has been no bidders since. Interesting, very interesting. So emergency management is real, and I would hate to be on the planning side of that, because if it's not done right, you're gonna find yourself in a really awkward situation.
All right. Anything else from anyone? Do we want to set up another meeting for September, October special? Do we need one then, or do we want to go towards the end of the year? What's everybody's thought?
We so far we're trending quarterly,
Yeah.
so August, September timeframe perhaps this year.
September-ish?
September.
Also. Hopefully the truck is not even on the agenda.
And this is the Wednesday nights, or the ones that were.
Yes. Which is. September 9th or the 16th, what is it? The 9th, right? No.
We could do either, both of them on Wednesdays.
We were always doing the second Wednesdays. Does that still work for everyone, the second Wednesdays? Don't interfere with anyone's?
Second Wednesday's the night before our township meeting. If the first Wednesday would be better
So the
for
ninth?
us, but it doesn't really
Okay.
matter.
September 9th work, that's the first actual Wednesday.
No, that's the second. That's the second Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, never mind. It is the second. September 9th, sorry. Does that work?
September 9th.
September 9th, 6 PM at, where are we going? Looks like Huntington. We ain't been there for a while.
I think we're in a position now, we could do that.
You can do that?
Fantastic.
6 PM, Huntington. If the truck's on the agenda, maybe it'll be on the agenda to see what we need to outfit it yet. That'd be the only reason it's on there, Joe.
That sounds like fun.
There's already, there is a bunch of stuff that
Well,
we had done
again,
at that time. That-
We have to discuss what needs to be on, so.
Right.
All right, anything else from anyone else? We try to keep these meetings short and sweet, so. Yes, ma'am?
Are you gonna have public comment?
Sure.
Is everyone else finished? I do have a question this afternoon because at the March meeting of Huntington Township Board of Supervisors, Mr. Geis, the chair, had reported that the previous week they were still working on finalizing, NAREMA was still finalizing the emergency truck, and that they had an EMS process for 2026 that Huntington was supposed to vote on. And he said, Geis indicated they hadn't had time and they were going to table it. Solicitor King interrupted, okay? Just as an update, he indicated on the NAREMA truck, and this is a quote from a recording that I watched from Huntington Township Watch. As you know, I record these meetings. He said, we, on behalf of the 4, now 5 municipalities in NAREMA that we represent, prepared a new agreement. King indicated he had sent it to Mr. Smith a while ago. King had not heard back, but King had forwarded the agreement to Dominic Engelbert from Butler Township, and Engelbert was going to take it and talk to the people in Franklin Township. And King was hoping to get it all resolved at the June 10th NAREMA meeting. So, sitting here, listening to this discussion over the last months, especially now, there's a serious communication problem. The lack of proficient...
Well, I think that, just to answer your one question there, June 10th meeting would be tonight.
Yeah.
And if we all would have agreed on the insurance issue, we would probably have been moving forward. It wouldn't even be a point of interest at this point. But there have been multiple questions brought up from multiple municipalities that we want to know if that $10 million is correct or if it was a mistype. So I'm agreeing that Dominic was probably right on that statement that it would have been decided and finalized tonight.
Oh, no, he never said it was going to be finalized, Mr. Engelbert. It was just given to him. And there's a serious, to me as a resident and taxpayer, the lack of proficiency in this room tonight about when the agreement, you indicated you had never, you weren't aware of it or you hadn't seen it. I just worry, like, how does this group mobilize if there's an emergency? That's my honest opinion. But one of the things is also, Salisbury News represents 5 of the original 7. Who is the solicitor for Bendersville?
Salisbury News.
Okay. This is a serious, under the rules of professional conduct, there's a conflict of interest. There's an appearance of that. And I researched a little today, and although a solicitor can, in an intergovernmental agency, actually work for 5 or whatever municipalities, there has to be informed consent of the risks. And it has to be formal. And there has to be where each municipality indicates in writing that they waive this conflict of interest.
What's the conflict of interest? I'm not following you on that at all.
The conflict of interest is where...
I can't control what each municipality chooses to be their attorney, so...
Correct. And no, I'm just stating this because of the issues here. There's a serious lack of communication among the group, it seems. And with Todd King from Huntington Township, the solicitor, he's also the solicitor for Butler.
Okay.
So why is there seems to be a problem with his communication? Do you all communicate via email or is this by phone or what? I'm not, this group looks very confused as far as where did it come from? You didn't know who prepared the MOU. And it was Todd King. I'm sitting here going, how come we know? Paul Geist knew who prepared it.
Again, we said we didn't know who prepared it. We knew it come from Stoltzman and Hughes. We just didn't know who prepared it. I didn't know Todd King. There's several attorneys up there. Hell, there's probably 15 attorneys up there.
No, and the
we
thing
just
is,
didn't know which attorney did this. And it didn't go in front of our attorney that I'm aware of, Bernie Yannetti. So.
Yeah, no. And that's what I mean. Like, I'm very surprised that Todd King from Huntington and Butler isn't communicating with the other attorneys that represent the other municipalities. I mean, it's not up to you as supervisors to be communicating with the attorney when you don't even know Todd King, you didn't hear from him. I mean, how did you get the agreements? The memorandum of understanding?
I emailed it to everybody.
That's what I said. It come from Don.
You did?
Right.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's like, why isn't Todd King as a solicitor writing to each individual municipality or their attorney?
Because realistically, that's not Todd King's
It's not
job.
his job.
He just created that because Dominic and them asked him to review it. He created it, but he's not Franklin Township's attorney. He's not.
No, I know that.
He's not Manallen's, or yeah, they are Manallen's, but they're not Biggerville's attorneys. So.
But why is it the responsibility of a supervisor? Okay, Huntington Township has Todd King, the two of them, okay? Why is it when I asked Mr. Geis in March at the BOS meeting about the emergency truck and this, and the fitting out, etc., he's like, I don't even know what's in the new agreement. So you can see why, sitting here as a resident, I wonder about all this. I mean, there's questions, serious questions.
I mean, I feel we're all fine in this group. Am I agreed on that? Anybody feel we're not?
I second the motion.
Okay. Anything else from you?
No, that's it.
Okay. Anything else from anyone else?
Gentleman in the back from Biglerville, what was your name again?
Tom Kennedy.
Thank you, I'm just signing you in.
Love to see Josh House big.
All right, so
Yes.
again, I will reach out to Saltzman and Hughes tomorrow, try to get a hold of Todd, and I will be sending an email out, one way or the other, yes or no, that I talked to him, so. All right? All righty then. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion moved.
Second?
Yep.
All right. All in favor say aye, we're out of here.